Thank you guys for being here. We really appreciate it. You could be anywhere in the world right now, but you're in the right place. We're about to drop some knowledge. Imagine this, opening up 40 plus brands, not only poke, not only burgers, ice cream, you name it. He sets the hottest trends in the OC. So you're listening to the best and greatest, and we bring it here live, right? So my name is Bernard. Thank you, Anish, for the wonderful introduction. I'm a managing partner at Think Strategy. We do B2B sales development. I also have a little puppy back there. His name is Sky. You guys probably seen him, the blue eyes, a little husky, right? I also have a nonprofit called Holistic Life Foundation, and we teach yoga and mindfulness for kids. So we're reaching about 7,500 students worldwide. But I'm not the reason why we're here. We're here because we're here to see Andy. So Andy, I got a couple questions for you, and I know that you're very accomplished, but a little bit of background. I know Nisha Little talked about it as well. You have 20 plus brands in the Afters ice cream place, right? Who's had that donut with the blue ice cream in the middle, right? And then after you eat it, the next day you're like, did I just eat a Smurf?
And the color of your stuff in the toilet might come out different color.
I was like, what is going on here, right? But he's also created 40 other plus retail brands, right? So I'm gonna pick his brain and knowledge about creativity, how you start these brands, how you start companies in a very short amount of time frame. How long did it take to do Afters?
Afters, that was 4 years ago.
So 4 years, right? 40 plus brands in 4 years. And he also has a nonprofit called Passion Chasers. It teaches kids entrepreneurship. Imagine this, I was talking to my buddy Ashar, he's somewhere in the audience. What if we learned what we knew now at a small age? Who would be farther along where they are now, right? Everyone should raise their hand because it's really, really big, right? So let's just jump into it. How did you get started?
I grew up my entire life in Orange County. Weird, awkward, troublemaker early on, trying to figure out how to fit in with certain groups. I ended up getting, following the troublemakers. Got confused and hit my freshman year and had the worst time in high school. Got kicked out after my freshman year, and if you're Asian, you get kicked out. It's not a good look. You can't be Asian and failing in math and born in America and failing English. Got kicked out. I had to think back of this is a really shitty place to be in, and I don't want to be in that place. I knew I was a different person. How did I feel?
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's more than just being at home, being alone. And I lived across the street from my high school, so I'd look out the window every day at like 2:38 p.m. and everyone's leaving and they're hanging out with each other, and I'm just stuck stuck here at home. The first week it's cool because I could stay home, watch TV all day. I'm like, oh. But after a while, when your parents say you can't go out and you're stuck there doing homework, it takes a toll on you. And I had to completely change my mindset. And I came back my junior and senior year. I did really well. But when after you graduate and get kicked out of school, you don't get to choose the colleges you want to go to. So I had to go to community college. Going to community college, I took a lot of the career planning classes. I took all my general education. I was like, dude, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what I want to do. Good thing I started being around some of my good friends. Then one of them happened to drop out of school early, and he went to real estate. How many of you guys like real estate in here? Yeah, not many. I was like, I'm on the other side. He asked me about real estate, and I was like, I had no idea what you're talking about. He goes, well, we can start our own company. I was like, I'm only 19 years old. How are you supposed to start your own company? I didn't think that was possible. He said, just give it a try. I'm making pretty good money, and I'll show you how to do it. So I ended up getting a real estate appraisal license before the market crashed, and I was doing pretty well for like 2.5, 3 years. And I learned how to make money early on, but I also learned how much I hated real estate. I was like, this sucks. Like, I have no interest in it. I don't like this. I want to do something else. Happened to know one of my friends who was starting a clothing brand, and he asked me to do a photo shoot for it, and I was like, I'm not a model, dude. He's like, well, I'll give you free clothes. I was like, oh, free clothes. I'm in. I'll do it. Yeah. And then after the photo shoot, I saw what he was doing. I was like, I'm way more interested in this. He was getting ready to launch another clothing brand. I was like, can I invest my money into your brand? And he told me no. I was like, why? I can do this. He's like, I don't think you're ready for it. So I went back to my friend. I was like, you know what? This real estate market's crashing. Let's take what we have and let's start our own clothing brand. So in 2007, I launched a clothing brand called King. We did that for about 7 years. In the retail, we're in the top retailers in the world. We're in the Zoomies, we're in PacSun, we're in Tilly's. We did well. I learned that industry. I learned how to network. I learned how to put product placement on people. I learned how to build a team. At that young age, I had like 40, 50 people working under me. Then after 7 years, I was like, damn, I'm doing the same thing over and over. Trade shows, shipping, product placement, same thing over and over again. I need to do something different. I found a different hobby. I started discovering a new hobby for myself. I was starting to write about food a lot and Yelp. I started utilizing Yelp so much it became like a game to me. I turned into a game. I turned into like, where are the most reviewed places when I travel? I'm gonna eat at all these places. So I became that go-to guy when people are looking for places to eat. Like, I'm going to New York. Where should I eat? I go, you should eat at these 10 places. And what I started noticing when I was traveling was there's a lot of these unique ice cream places, and they had all these unique flavors. And back in Orange County, we didn't have shit. We had Baskin Robbins, we had Thrifties, we had Cold Stone, which are cool, but the flavors weren't unique. They weren't fun. And I was like, man, I can do this. I can do this a lot better. So I started drawing up a lot of ideas, like a lot of different flavors. I was so busy at that time. I was trying to give the idea away to my friends. And they're like, no, it's not gonna work. You can't make money. You can't make money doing ice cream. I was like, yeah, dude, this is gonna kill it. You need to try it. So I happened to hit one of my other friends, and I told him about it. And actually grew up. I've known him since 2nd grade, and we had this conversation. And a lot of our ideas were really similar. And he's like, let's do it. Let's open our own ice cream store. So we hunted, and we used to work across. We found this place in Fountain Valley. We work out across the street, and we never went to this plaza ever. And it was an ice cream store that was open maybe once every other week. So we're like, okay, can we buy you guys? We want to buy you guys out. It's like they're like 2 older white dudes, they're like 65 years old. They're like, I don't want to sell my business. We go, you're only open once every other week. What are you doing? He goes, I still want to make ice cream. I was like, well, shit, I don't know how to make ice cream. How about we just figure a way to partner up? So we ended up partnering up with them, and we ripped their store apart. We painted the whole thing black. Started putting crazy words on the wall. Like one wall says Gucci Man loves ice cream, and another wall says, like leave your diet here, anti-diet, and started making ice cream like weird flavors. And he's like, no one's gonna buy this flavor. I was like, trust me, it's gonna work. He's like, no one's gonna eat blue ice cream. I was like, trust me, it's called Cookie Monster. You need to make it blue. And then, we are developing different ideas around it. We're like, ice cream itself won't work by itself. We need to figure this out. And it was right around the time that the Cronut came out and the ramen burger came out, and those are both like New York items. And that was the first time like people were talking about food, like really talking about food and mashups, and that was never been done before. So we tested like waffles, we tested like taco shells, like we're trying to make taco shells with like cones. And that didn't work out. We sucked at it, and then my partner Scott, he's driving past the donut store, and at first we were testing this bread product. It was in the shape of what we were originally doing now. And he came to the store, and I'm like, dude, we're about to go eat right now. He's like, no, we're gonna try the donut out. So we tried it, and we're like, okay, this is it. And we created a name for it. We called it the Milky Bun, and we opened Afters a little over 4 years ago now, in Fountain Valley. Which at the time, if you told somebody, oh yeah, my store's in Fountain Valley, they go, where the fuck is Fountain Valley? We opened that first store without a real sign. If you look at the sign to this day, it just says ice cream. We made it light up now, but before it didn't light up, and the only way would you find the store if you saw the line down the block. So for the first 2 years of that location, we'd have a line, 2-3 hour line down the block every single day. Today we have 22 locations for Afters ice cream throughout Southern California. Continue to expand, and I have about 9 other food concepts throughout Southern California and Arizona, and I'm jumping into other territories at the same time.
So I'm a really big comic book fan, and I like this superhero origin story, right? Because you have so many things going on, different brands, different ways to create a business. How did you find your unique ability, your superpower, and what is it?
It's funny, when I actually teach the Passion Chasers class, I always refer to the superhero theme. The only reason I always say the superhero theme is not just because of like, you know, breaking walls and laser vision and stuff. Like when I think of superheroes, I think of like right moral code. I think of being okay, being different, always trying to find yourself. For me, I believe my superpower is like being able to connect the dots, connect with people, putting great people together and helping them unlock their superpowers.
So the way I look at superpowers is your unique ability. Have you ever been at work and you think that you want to be on vacation? Or you're on vacation and you're like, oh, I need to do this thing at work. Your superpower is a thing that you love to do each and every day, and it doesn't drain energy from you. People see it in you, it's your passion, it's your unique ability. And when you spend most of your time in your superpower, things grow. And obviously, Andy, it worked well for you. What are some of the challenges you ran when you're building all of these brands?
Challenges, not having enough experience. All the industries I got into, real estate, fashion, food, I had zero experience into it. I didn't know how to, I still to this day can't design a t-shirt. I still to this day do not know my way around the kitchen. If you put me in the kitchen, it's gonna be a disaster. Always trying to figure out how financially grow. Most of the projects that I've been a part of have been self-funded. We've never borrowed a single cent for anything I've done. So it's been an interesting process of trying to maintain that and grow at the same time. But you go through challenges every day. You go through challenges of having partners or staff members that don't get along, or they don't teach you that in school. Like you have one person that literally could turn your company upside down. You know what I mean? How do you deal with that? How do you work through that? And how do you turn around and just make your company successful again?
So they say that restaurant business and retail is a 80% failure rate, right? That's a really high failure rate. What are the common myths when you're opening up a store like this?
Common myths? That you have to work you have to be in the kitchen all the time? You won't see me in the kitchen for sure. Yeah, you have to be in the kitchen all the time. Common myths in the restaurant industry.
So you have to delegate well.
You have to delegate well. Yeah, you have to have really good systems in place. And you have really good team members, managers, marketing teams, menu developments, like everything. It's all tricky. Yeah. Well,
I remember in Seattle, I opened up a smoothie shop as well. Right, we were right on the underwater, and I got my food handler's license. I'm a marketer, right? So I put on these gloves, I put on this little thing on my head that covered my hair, and I started serving these smoothies. And the next day, more people came, and one lady came and started complaining, like it didn't taste like yesterday. And then she came back the next day after that, it didn't taste like the day before. And I just gave up. We closed up shop in 4 months because, well, at the break-even point, I think we had to sell like 70 of these things, right, to even break even, and we were selling 15, right? So when you're doing this, you have to manage well and delegate well. That's a different mindset than just getting into the food industry. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Can you elaborate on the question?
How do you manage well?
Understanding your role. That's how I think I know my role really well. That's why I'm able to do more than just be a part of one business. I know what I'm good at. I know what I'm not good at. And I think when you know what you're not good at, you hire the experts for it. And if they're not experts into it, you can always help try to mold them into it. I think that's something I normally do. That's how I manage. Yeah.
Okay, I'm about to ask one of my favorite questions. First of all, have you seen a store, right? There's crazy colors, right? I purchased these socks there, right? I just went there today. I had to do my research. I ate the big donut as well with the blue ice cream. And that's why I had a hard time fitting into my pants today, right? Can you walk us through your creative process of creating a brand that generates 2 to 3 hours long lines 250 people waiting for ice cream, and just Instagram success, over 250,000 followers. What is your creative process?
I think when we were thinking of things, we're not just thinking about the product or the store. We're thinking, what's the void? What's the experience that we're creating? We're not trying to build a store, we're trying to build a story and put our lifestyle into it. We're not just developing product, we're developing a production around this whole thing. It's a production, it's like a show, putting on a performance. That's why the store is black, at the common theme of we're trying to be like the anti-corporation, like you go into, like when you mentioned Baskin Robbins and Cold Stone again, they have like pink and purple color, light pink, light purple, and they have like circus music or whatever they have playing in there. And you come into our store and it's black. Well, what kind of ice cream store is supposed to be black? And then you have trap music pumping through the speakers. You got staff members, wearing shirts that say anti-diet. It's not normal. But it's that feeling, it's that lifestyle. And that's part of who we were. That's what we enjoyed. We're always thinking about what excites us. If I don't get excited about it, why would I put it out? And that's how I kind of develop everything. Every project, any product that we put out. If I can't get excited, then we need to go back to the drawing board.
Yeah, that reminds me of a statement that says, it's either a hell yes or a no. Can you walk us through a day in the life?
Day in the life, these days are a little crazy. Every day is a little different. We gotta talk about today. Today, got up. I know tomorrow, we're leaving to Coachella tomorrow, so I gotta try, I'm like halfway packed. But we have Coachella, we have 3 of our brands there, our partners there. We have Wingman there, we have Afters there, and we have Pigpen there. So everyone's getting, gearing up for that. Then I left for a meeting in Chino Hills to check on a food hall that I'm a part of curating over there. There's about 8 concepts in there, and I own 6 of them in there. After Chino Hills, we drove to LA to go eat, and we're always studying, we're always trying new places. So we're trying different restaurants, we're shooting pictures, talking about the dishes that we like and don't like. The next thing, we're at the BuzzFeed headquarters over there, meeting, talking to them, learning about what they look for when they're shooting videos and what they're posting. And then now I'm here, chit-chatting, learning from everyone, getting to know everybody, and talking to you.
It's awesome. So you had mentioned this concept of mashup, where you're taking, you had a fashion background in the past, and now you're taking that food and mashing it up with what's hot and what's latest. How do you stay on top of trends? How do you stay on top of fashion?
That's my lifestyle. I'm always, I always want to know what's cool, what's everyone talking about, what's getting me excited. That new pair of off-white Jordans are coming out. I need to have it. How am I going to make this happen? And that's the same way I apply my thought process to the items I create. I was like, dude, I need to create something where people I need to have this. That's how we develop and work on our items.
And when you think of an idea and you're not sure it's going to have success or failure, what do you do?
If it doesn't do well, we go back and work on another item. I recently filmed with the Food Network, and they called me the Mashup King, which was a weird term. And I was like, I get it, because we've created a lot of interesting items. We put up at the Poke Store. We created this item called the Sushi Donut, and that went so viral that in about a week and a half we had 63 million views on that, and the store was wrapped around the block for an entire month, and we're like, oh shit, like this, we didn't know this was gonna happen. Or me and my buddy Kevin there, we worked on a mac and cheese burger. The buns are made of mac and cheese and deep fried and put in a burger. So we're always trying to think things that get us excited. Really, that's super cool. That's interesting. That looks good on camera. Let's make that. Yeah.
Tons and tons of restaurants open up. Tons and tons of retail shops open up. Why do you think companies fail?
Because they're not paying attention to the youth. They're not paying attention to what's going on right now. They're so stuck in their ways, and everything's always changing, including right now with the social media is always changing, algorithm changes. I think if you're not on top of it and keeping up, you're going to fall. In a week later, you're going to be behind already.
For those in the audience and those on the live cam, if they were to start this type of business, where do they begin?
Doing the research, finding what's the void in their area. Does it make sense in the demographics? No, I chose an easy one. I chose ice cream because everyone loves ice cream. Thank goodness I started that because that led me to all these other ones. And, now I'm able to test and try different things that may not work and see, test the waters a little bit more.
What's your research process like?
I eat at a different restaurant all the time. I've probably eaten at well over it. They're laughing at me because they know they get stuck on it. If you travel with me, you'll know it's really intense. Kevin and Derek, they've traveled with me. I could try 14 places, 20 places in one day. In one day, I'll test items till I'm literally laying on the floor, passed out. But I want to know what's out there. I'm only here for 24 hours. We're gonna knock out everything. I want to go try it all out. And it's, experiences like seeing, learning about the area, taking pictures of certain backgrounds. Different things like that. I'm always learning and picking it apart. And it's different now. Eating before, before I was eating for enjoyment before I started a business, and now it's different. Now when I eat, it's all about research, and my mind's running I can start a business from this. I can scale this for sure to 100 stores in a few years. So it's a different thought process now, but it's fun. It's still a game for me. I treat a lot of stuff like a video game. All my tasks every day is it's like a point system. Done, mark that off, it's completed. So everything's like a game, and that's my system and processes that I go through.
Do you journal this? Do you document this?
Yeah, I write in a journal all the time, and if you're following me on social media, you know I'm documenting almost everything that I do.
If you had to tell your 18-year-old self what you know now and expedite the process, what would you do? If you look at your 5 closest friends at the time, you'll most likely talk like them, you most likely dress like them, you'll be into similar things. So for me, it's if you surround yourself with amazing people, talented people, you're gonna chase that. You're gonna try to compete with them. It's just a natural habit. So if you surround yourself with troublemakers, you're probably gonna get in trouble. So yeah, I choose to surround myself with amazing people like you guys and learn. Last 2 questions is, what is the future for Andy, and where do you see that this business is going to take you?
What I always tell people is I don't always want to be known as, I remember 4 years ago, Andy, that's the clothing guy. Now, that's the food, that's the restaurant guy. I don't want to be in that hole. I always want to do something different. I want to continue to go into different industries and figure out how to disrupt it one way or another. Right now, I'm working on a lot of development on changing how retail and the food experience and how stores, how the shopping experience is. Teaching people how to curate that and do it right, because right now, like I mentioned earlier, it's the age of experience, and if you create a great experience, everyone says retail is dying. It's not. You have those places like the ice cream museum or all those other stuff with your phones, and if you can create experiences like that, people will come.
And lastly, I just came from your shop, and I asked the person behind the counter, what should I get? What's your favorite flavor?
My favorite flavor? I'm traumatized from ice cream now, so I don't eat as much ice cream as I used to. Every time we do testing, I'm like, we gotta test more ice cream. My favorite flavor is the milk and cereal. We actually bake butter, sugar, the flakes that we make, and we mash it up into the ice cream. So we mix it into the ice cream, and we also top it with it. So when you bite it, you get texture and a lot of hints of butter and sugar. So milk and cereal is my go-to.
That's awesome.
Yeah, thanks, Bernard.
Andy, thank you very much. If you want to reach out to Andy, you can follow him on Instagram, you can follow him on Twitter and Facebook. I really appreciate it. Awesome job. Thanks a lot.